Hey, it's Barry with PJ's Projects. Just wanted to give an explanation to some of the projects that my wife and I do. We advertise a lot that we make a lot of, not everything, but we make a lot of our products out of tobacco tier rails. And I do know that there are a lot of people that don't know what we're talking about when we say that. So I'm just going to give a brief explanation. I'll try to keep it brief about what a tobacco tier rail, or some people growing up might have just heard of tobacco rails, what they are and why we're using them. Just to give a little bit of background, my wife and I both grew up on tobacco farms. I grew up on a tobacco farm in southern Ohio. My wife grew up on a tobacco farm in central Kentucky. But the tobacco industry, as a lot of people know, has been pushed out of the United States, or cut down in a massive amount. So what we've got now is we've got tobacco rails just sitting in barns that aren't being used. In a lot of cases, they're not being used for anything. So I've gotten some of these from my dad. Thanks, Dad, for that. But what we're doing, I'm going to give a brief explanation. So the tobacco rails, now they're normally 18, 20 foot, sometimes longer than that. This is just a small section. But these are what in a tobacco barn, you got your tobacco stick. Normally it's 6. That varies depending on the size of the crop. But normally you'd have 6 tobacco stalks hanging from this, and then this would go up in the rails. That's how it would sit, roughly. You would also be standing on these. I've made comments before to people of like, I make wood products out of the stuff I used to grow up standing on in the tobacco barns. Is because your feet would be here and they'd be stacked multiple rails high. So what we've done is we've just kind of taken sections of these. This board here, you see the lighter color. This rail happens to be poplar, which we've made several things out of these boards. So out of these boards, I've made a bunch of signs where I don't have any on hand right now. We just got rid of one of our last ones. I'm making more all the time, but right now I don't have any extra. We make them where I rip them up and then we glue them up and joint them, glue them, plane them up, and so they're nice and smooth, and we glue them back up together and make nice signs out of them. They're very pretty. The wood we have primarily from my dad's farm is either poplar or oak, which you can see an example of both on here. You've got the lighter color is a poplar, and the reddish color there is the oak. Same thing here. So we've taken a lot of material from tobacco tier rails and have transferred that into coasters, signs, different furniture pieces, things of that sort that are instead of just sitting in a barn not doing anything, not having any value anymore since the tobacco farms are out. Or most of them are, not all of them. We're trying to make products out of them that are pretty and functional and serve a good purpose. But I'm going to rip up a couple of these because some people, when they look at this, they wouldn't think that there'd be anything nice at all on the inside. These are pretty rough. This is pretty much what they all look like. They tend to have some bird crap on them, things of that nature. They get pretty dirty, but I'm going to rip some of these up and show you kind of what some of the insides look like and how we transform this from an ugly rail to something pretty and usable. Now we turn it into something nice and usable. This is still far from any kind of quality product. Most of these rails are warped, twisted. They take a lot of work to get them jointed and planed to where I can actually use them, and I don't have a jointer here. That would make this project a whole lot easier. But it's fine. I use some different jigs to make it work. and it does work. It's nice, but it's just a little bit more time consuming. But this is just kind of a rough sketch of what you can do out of some of these tobacco tier rails. If you like what you see, leave us a like, comment, and share. Appreciate you watching. Thank you.